1st Regiment of Foot and the 2nd Battalion of the 89th Regiment of Foot, as well as the Lower Kent Volunteers, the Western Rangers, and a number of First Nations warriors. The Americans took position on the heights just above the creek in Longwoods, standing behind a fortification of Abbatee, which is cut down trees with all the branches facing toward the enemy. They fought in that terrible time, and you see it reenacted at this present time. The Americans are taking their position on the top of the hill. During the battle, the Americans were on the hill. The Canadian militia came in from one side, and the native auxiliaries from the other side, and the British regulars charged up the hill a number of times, straight on. They had no cover because it's in the rear. The trees were young and green, very little leaf cover. So they kept it going until there wasn't one single officer standing except the 14-year-old ensign. Company, unlucky job of taking the survivors back to Delaware. The dead were left on the field in spring. The American officer, out of courtesy for the bravery of the men that charged up the hill, or died for his troops. Their section out. Very much surprised.
Yeah, D, I'm in.
The British were led by Captain James Basman, who had a bit of an attitude problem. He had been demoted in December of 1813 to a lieutenant because he was associated with a woman of questionable reputation. Apparently she didn't wear a hat one day in public. So he was restored in February 1814, and he came with the idea that he was going to prove his worth in battle. The Americans were commanded by Captain Andrew Hunter Holmes, and the father was the governor of Louisiana, and his family was personal friends with Thomas Jefferson. So there's a long thing. The Americans had 180 originally. They had been on the road for 2 weeks. They were tired and hungry, and 20 men were sent back to Detroit because they were too sick to stay. The rest were all thinking of leaving. They were hungry, they were fed properly, but Lieutenant Head of the American Army did a pep talk and convinced them to stay and, if necessary, die for their country. We went left of the battlefield to see a skirmish line formed up of troops from Kentucky in their black hunting shirts, Michigan Rangers under the command of a captain of the 16th U.S. Infantry. The Hunting Shirts were very comfortable with and also carries more with the irregular infantry at the sea. To the right of the battlefield, you see men in the very coat with what is the top hat or veterans hat. These are Canadian volunteers. Canadians who joined up in the American service and are considered traitors by the Crown. Next to them in gray coats with the shakers on their heads are the 22nd Infantry. Around them in blue coats are 2 sections of the 24th Infantry. The artillery on the scene is serving today as U.S. artillery forces at the time.
Five paces. Rear rack up. 2, 3, 4, 5.
As the British are advancing in the skirmish line, the American skirmish forces are falling back in front of them. They are trying to form up and so that they can trying to cover when they're already loaded. So you see a lot going on here. We'll see a finish at this moment. Well done, Kentucky.
the red coats will take the ground. Numbers favor the red coats. And continues reinforcement.
At the Battle of Longwoods, the Longwoods Road crossed 20 Mile Creek with a narrow bridge. The soldiers had to march in column, and the Americans were firing an unwithering fire. One of the officers called it an uncommon fire, and they were just literally toppling the British as they came across this narrow bridge. And most of the casualties of the British suffered on that bridge. And as they tried to stop, they're struggling up the hill with the foot of steel. And with leather shoes, they didn't have much traction. So it was a bad situation. And as a result, there were 21 killed and 52 wounded. Had been wounded, probably over half would have died.
Volunteers, make ready! Take aim!
The Canadian volunteers are looking around by the fire. The 21st Infantry is about to fire. Excellent. As we mentioned earlier, the Canadian volunteers have captured it. They were immediately executed in Australia. It's American soldiers that were taken prisoner. The big advantage to the American side is the artillery. That means the artillery could reach
the First Nations flanked to the right. Called out and the loyal Kent militia flanked to the left and tried to outflank the Americans, but the Americans were ready for them. They had all four sides of their abattis covered and they were more than able to keep the British at bay.
You may recognize the green side. That's the band. They serve as stretcher bearers and put the instruments down such that they move on the
Americans suffered 5 dead on the battlefield and 8 wounded. And that night, after the battle, they pulled away. They took the 8 with them, and most of those people died probably on the way to Detroit. The British had 16 dead on the field, and departed the 52 back to Delaware, where many of them died. And the unmarked graves in the cemetery of Delaware were found in the body parts.
Make ready! Take aim! Fire!
Make ready!
Private line!
Take aim! Fire! Private low!
We have the sergeants giving command. For the American forces, the command was make ready, take aim, fire. For the Crown forces, was make ready, present, fire. The Crown forces are holding back a bit, reorganizing themselves, probably for a final rush. I don't know. Yeah, well, we'll see. First Nations troops are behind this copse of trees, and they'll pop out every so often if you take a shot at people. You realize that almost everybody you see standing in front of you are wearing wool jackets, with the exception of the Rangers who are in heavy cotton twill. The British troops are in wool, and Today it's not so bad, but wait till August. The most asked question often is, why did the police wear red? Well, couldn't fire more, anybody more than 60 yards. The attack is forming up, they're coming up the hill. Huge volley. The better part of battle is discretion.
Get order! Get order!
This is farming for another attack, most likely. It's unfortunate for them when they have no artillery available, because on the American side, they're told that they told her lined up on the top of the hill, which would be an easy target. Skirmishers are forming up. American Rangers are on the 16th infantry. They're coming out of the First Nations troops. First Nations warriors. They're still alive and shooting.
Keep up the fire, guys! Keep up the fire! My line is clear,
The battle lasted an hour and a half. As you see before you is the skirmishing again. Troops in line are reforming and getting ready for the final push before it appears. As Captain Bob said, the musicians were used as stretcher bearers, trying to help them when they could. When this was over, Basman was hit in the thigh, which he had to turn over command, and the only officer left was Ensign Frederick Miller. Miller started the retreat and helped Basman when they got to the other side of the bridge. Colonel Stewart of the Royal Scots arrived to find that all his men had been claimed, and he ordered the retreat back to 14 Mile Creek. If you go today, the railway overpass over the Longwoods Road is where 14 Mile Creek is. They spent the night there, then they retreated to Delaware, and made the transfer from Delaware to the Grand River, and that's the last time you saw a British redcoat this side of the Grand River during the War of 1812. If you want to look to the left, you see British vehicles, British bandsmen leading the wounded, although one was leading them, and he took a shaker. I don't know anything about that. They're trying to form up for a new assault. It was pretty suicidal to go up against a cannon at this close range. And compact units like that reflects either the stupidity or the bravery of the British officer in charge. But that's the way they did it in all the battles, including all the battles. You know, should all be good apprehensive at this point in time. Note the officers in their finer clothing are leading the troops themselves. Officers led from the front in those days. Here comes trouble. Once again, discretion is the better part of God, no matter what the sergeant major is telling you.
Get your loads up. Fight the last round. If you're not loaded, don't load it. Drop one fire.
Break your stars and learn to British Army fighting these tactics.
We enjoy doing this as a hobby, but we realize that we are actually telling the story that cost 21 men their lives. And it's a very serious thing when you think of 21 soldiers in their time of their life dying for their country. That's why the Battle of Longwoods, the only battle fought in Middlesex County, is a significant event. And I think we as reenactors really honor those soldiers who 200 years ago were defending their countries and fighting for their country.
Senior officers are coming together for what we refer to as a parley. In many cases, they would decide who would be left on the battlefield. The band of music is coming up the field. We'll lead anyone in a lament. The two generals are discussing many things, possibly dinner. Questions often asked who won the Battle of 1812. Generally in military terms, whoever holds the land at the end of the battle. However, if your goal is to take over Canada, you didn't do it. So that gives you a bit of an idea, maybe somewhat slight. A lament will be played. I would request that all of you, ladies and gentlemen, remove your caps as you can and maintain silence for the lament.
Reform the line!
Hello, Canadian Police. In this one, under the sacrifices of forces of the Crown, forces of the Republic of the United States, and of the various First Nations who are here.
If you want to let the audience know, we're going to form the lines facing each other so we can salute each other.
The British are lining up and the Americans are lining up to salute each other. The shakos, if you look at the British shakos, the white hackle, the white feather that comes out of the shako, if it's white, they're grenadiers. If it's white and red, they're line companies. And if they're green, they're the light companies of each regiment. Each regiment had a company of grenadiers. Each regiment had a company of light. And then had 8 companies of the line regiment. The grenadiers were usually the biggest, tallest, and in our opinion of the light company, the stupidest of the regiment, whereas the light company were the most skilled and talented and intelligent and attractive soldiers of the entire regiment. I forgot my green hackle. I apologize.
21st, halt! Order, arms! Order to the right. Right. Mark. Halt! Front. Right, dress. Dress right. Order.
It is traditional at reenactments for both sides to present a salute to each other, and that's what's going to happen very, very shortly.
In the reenacting, we have to ensure that everything is safe. You'll see the soldiers pinging their ramrods down the barrel to make sure there's no powder down there, because it could be a very dangerous thing if it went off. So we should practice safety all the time.
Action! Fix! Finish! Shoulder! Out!
One battalion! Shoulder! Up! Present! Up!
Our friendly neighbors, present! Arms!
2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4.
Shoulder! Up!
Shoulder! Arms!
2, 3, 4.
It's proper to have fixed bayonets for a general salute.
Otherwise we'll block your route. Order! Arms!
2, 3,
Battalion!
4.
Unfixed!
Report next!
3, 4.
Unfixed! Finish!
Unfixed! Bayonet!
Down to the order.
Shoulder! Arms! 1, 2.
Yeah! Up! I will form focus all the companies by filing to the rear!
Battalion will form line to the right. Number 1 company, stand fast.
Five, right,
Commanders,
face!
on your left, backwards wheel.
March!
One, march.
Halt! Front! Halt, press! Halt, press! Good. March! Front! Front!
Yeah, we have a mixed bag of regiments put together. The first groups coming are the 41st of Foot,
Ready?
and the IMAX, and the 41st were the longest during the War of 1812. For either 7 years or life, before your parents to life. Thank everyone for their attention. We've enjoyed doing this and enjoy having you here. The village will still be open when you see